So you got, and we're back?
And we're back, man.
And we're back.
I love it. Let me see.
Hello, Alan. Alan, this is Fraser Crane.
Fraser Crane.
Hello, Seattle.
Hello, Seattle. So a real crazy thing is I was at the gas station a little bit ago, got some gas, and I could hear this song playing in the background, and it reminded me of the 82 song, Our House, which was the song playing.
Our house
in the
middle of a street.
So you know what that song was all about? What
was it about, Alan?
It said homelessness. I'm like, I didn't recall that. I just recalled that they were playing in the street. Dad was wearing his Sunday best. Mom was doing her best to keep it together. I didn't think it was about homelessness, but I don't know. I'm going to let the listeners.
Now, is this one of those someone has just interpreted it that way and it just kind of caught fire? Or did the artist say, this was a song I wrote about homelessness?
I do not know. Madness was the group, and that's all I can remember. But I remember it was like 1982. It was in the top 10 in the U.S., but I think the U.K., because they were British, they were a British band.
You know what? That song came out the same time as Burning Down the House.
So there was a lot of house videos, right?
So what I thought was, our house is in the middle of the street because someone just burned down the house. Those songs sometimes came on back to back. And
dude, that's freaking awesome there. That is freaking awesome. I tell you what, let's start the show.
Can you take me back when we were just kids? We weren't scared of getting older, yeah. 'Cause no one knows you like they know you, and no one probably ever will. You can grow up, make new ones, but truth is, there's nothing like old friends. 'Cause you can't make old friends. Yeah. Can you take me back when we were just kids who weren't scared of getting older? Yeah. Now I've got some good friends now.
Welcome to the show that has little to no meaning and makes little to no sense. It is the show where you can expect the unexpected. This is nonsensical talk on the air and in the cloud. Those crazy hosts will talk about anything and everything. And now, from their home studios in Middle Tennessee, here is your hosts, Alan Robertson and Joey Smith.
All right, so here we go. We're still kicking. I think this is going to be the fourth one this year that we're rolling out. Believe it or not, we're just rolling them out now. I went by and got my retirement fund because when y'all hear this, either you're going to see that I'm a billionaire or I'm still the guy that I was yesterday, which is not bad, but hey, whatever. I'm shooting for the billionaire because I only have a slight better chance of winning if I play. See, I have a better chance of losing if I don't play, but a slight better chance of winning if I do play. And so, let's go.
I agree.
I'm trying to get that little bit. Trying to go for the retirement party. So, Joey, you had a great week this week in your endeavors.
Yeah.
Doing a little trailblazing in Clarksville, Tennessee, trying to find.
Okay, so Alan and I, we're like texting each other like all the time, guys. And we're like, hey, have you tried these chips? He sends me like this photo. I go to the Kroger's on Madison Street and it's not there. I buy some other type Doritos and, but it, I would not be denied. And so basically what he showed me was these spicy pineapple jalapeno Doritos that we're going to try here in just a little bit.
Yes.
And so I couldn't find them at first. And then yesterday I sent him a text and said, look what I found. He goes, man, how'd you find them? And I was like, Well, I went on a quest, and Alan, you know how like Indiana Jones, like in the Holy Grail, he had to fight the Nazis. He had to link up with his dad, Sean Connery. They had to fight an airplane with birds on the beach, and he suddenly remembered his Charlemagne, and the birds in the air would become the weapons. And this was nothing like that. I just went to a different Kroger's.
It's the same but different.
You know how like Indiana Jones, this was not like that. I just went to a different Kroger's on Dover Crossing.
As long as you didn't bring a gun to a knife fight.
And they had oh, you hear that? Yeah.
That's fresh right there. So if you look, they say we can have 11 of these chips, and it's 140 calories.
11.
And my God, there's 18 carbs.
11 chips.
Yeah, what's that? What's that smell?
11 is kind of like, the girl on Stranger Things. 11.
They actually smell really good.
Fantastic first flavor. Fantastic first flavor.
My God, that is
great. It hits you right at.
Now my mouth is watering like crazy.
The pineapple is not overbearing either.
Nope, and the jalapeno is not overbearing.
Great first flavor.
They did a great job with this solid black edition spicy pineapple jalapeno. Oh my God, it is. This is one of those ones. It's addictive. My God.
Everyone that's listening in your car right now,
you don't know.
If you're driving somewhere, find a Kroger's.
Find one quick.
Especially you're on a road trip, you're listening to our podcast one after another. These are good to have right next to you. Keep you company.
You know what you need to keep next to you with that?
A little comfort food.
You need to get some Milo's tea.
Yellow Cap.
Got to be the yellow cap.
Alan, did you ever try the extra sweet Milo's?
I have not. I'm afraid
to. It tastes like I tried it. It tastes like I was just getting diabetes right as I was drinking it.
And I've already got type 2. I don't need it anymore.
You don't need this. It is so sweet. It is like thick sweetness.
It's like sugar water with a little tea.
No, thicker. It is syrup.
Oh my God.
You are drinking sweet tea syrup.
Sweet tea syrup and pineapple.
Like you're not going to drink a whole bottle. You're just going to go, oh goodness, that's sweet. Gosh.
So let me tell you a secret about these right here, Joey.
Yeah.
You put your nose in there, and you know how when it's hot, it burns your nose a little bit when you smell it? You can't smell the heat. But by God, when it hits your tongue, you can feel the heat.
But it's a good hot. It's not making my tongue numb.
Yeah, it's not flaming. What's that? They put flaming on everything. This right here is this is the new Cool Ranch.
That's really good.
Yeah,
that's going to be hard to beat. Alan, that's going to be hard to beat.
I don't know. That's freaking good. Okay.
That's the best one. Alan, you know what? A few years ago, I was taking a graduate class at Austin P, and it was on branding and communications. And we did a study of the new Coke fiasco of 1985. And there's some articles. I'll try to post the articles on our website. But basically, this was in response to the Pepsi challenge, the Pepsi blind taste test, where they were just going up in public spaces sitting at a table with a piece of cardboard in front of it and letting people try two different. And after they tried both sodas, they would lift the cardboard and say, "You chose. What did you choose?"
Oh, the
They
Pepsi
said, "I chose
challenge.
Pepsi."
Yeah, the Pepsi challenge.
And so Coke, what they wanted to do, Coke is less sweet, more acidic. And Coke said, we need a new formula to combat this Pepsi challenge. And it was a fiasco because there's so many loyal Coke drinkers. So folks that were born after 1985, you might wonder why Coca-Cola says Coca-Cola Classic on it. Because it was such an uproar. They came back like within a year and said, we're gonna go back to the old formula. And for a short time, they kept New Coke and they kept the Coca-Cola Classic.
Right.
So you could have your choice. The mistake that they made, what they were trying to do is they were trying to find that perfect flavor. And what we have found out is you should not be trying to find the perfect Pepsi or the perfect Coke. You should be trying to release many different Cokes and many different Pepsis. That's why we have so many different Doritos. Instead of just taking the nacho cheese Dorito and say, we're making a new formula. We're doing away with the old formula. Just release different flavors and you'll find your audience, your market out there that small, that picks up that. Alan, today I tried Pepsi pineapple.
Oh my God.
It was good. I'm just going to take the first folks to have it is in cans at Little Caesars, because I went to Little Caesars and got like some crazy bread,
right,
and saw that we have Pepsi pineapple. I said,
"Oh my God,
I'll throw one in there. I'll try one," and not bad. Not pineapple in cola is not too bad. So Little Caesars is the first one to have the Pepsi pineapple.
So pizza and pineapple and Pepsi and pineapple. You decide.
Yeah. And so, but it's we can learn from those mistakes. And Coca-Cola, they come out with Ultimate Coca-Cola.
Yep.
You see them in stores right now.
They've got Coke Zero.
Just a different flavor.
Vanilla Coke.
Dream Coke. Last year they released Dream Coke. It tastes more like cotton candy. Had like a little cotton candy flavor to it. Coke Lime. That was actually one of my favorite ones.
I like Coke Lime. I love Coke Lime. As a matter of fact, I bought that until they stopped selling it. Because that was one of my favorites.
Vanilla Coke has always been a popular one.
I don't like vanilla
I can
Coke.
find them in Florida. Vanilla Coke Zeros. I find them in Florida, but not in Tennessee.
I tell you what.
When I go to Florida, I'll buy a 12-pack of Vanilla Coke Zeros.
So I was talking back to the Pepsi challenge where they did the Pepsi or Coke.
Yeah.
You know how they got people to pick Pepsi over Coke more times than not? They almost froze the Pepsi and the Coke because Pepsi is better at colder temperatures than Coca-Cola, but Coca-Cola is better than others. That's why Coca-Cola has 80 or 70% of the shares. So 70% of everybody in the world drinks Coca-Cola, and then there's a small gap in there, like 22% that have Pepsi. So I mean, it's a mass number that I remember seeing. But what they would do, the way they would get the Pepsi and Coke challenge, is they would nearly freeze those two drinks, just short of freezing them, and give you the taste test. And that's how you would pick Pepsi more so over Coke, because then that added a little dimension, but not a whole lot of dimension. So they couldn't tell.
So those Cokes might have been at 33 degrees or those colas whenever you were testing them. And one tastes better at that really extreme cold temperature is what you're saying. I can see that.
But if you go on Netflix and ask Pepsi, where's my Harrier or where's my Jet, it talks about
I
the
remember
big
that commercial.
fiasco. It's the big fiasco, but that's a great Netflix. Pepsi, where's my jet? He never got his jet, by the way.
Yeah, and
Spoiler.
what Alan's referring to is, when I was I was a student at Austin P, and I was working at Will's at Knockham Hill, and Will had Pepsi products, so I was cutting the Pepsi points off those 12 cartons. Everyone that came in, I was able to buy like a leather jacket with it, like in one summer. But anyway, so you got like a book, and so many Pepsi points would buy products. And Pepsi made a faux pas where they had one funny commercial, but they didn't put a disclaimer at the bottom of it.
And they 2 million points get you? Or
2 million points get you this
like,
Harrier.
It was some massive.
It was a military Marine Harrier that lifts off, and someone paused it, and so if you had to go watch a Netflix special, but if you pause it, they did not leave a disclaimer saying, "Just kidding." They quickly realized what they did and put, "Just kidding," blah blah blah. But there were some commercials at the very beginning that did. I said, "That's an offer. That is a real offer." If I collect, so this one guy went and got all these investors to try to help him collect 2 million points so he can get a Harrier, and not expecting the Harrier, but wanted to be able to have a lawsuit. And
now they actually tried to settle with him for an astronomical amount of money, but he wanted that jet so bad it ended up with nothing.
Yeah.
That's the long and short. If you watch that show, trust me, it's painstaking. But the greatest thing about it is in the last bit, you hear the Julio Iglesias song, "Tonight We Dance." Oh my God, I love that song, and that kind of kicked me off. It made me feel like I was a teenager again, and that's been 30 some odd years ago, to be exact.
A tangent, back on the colas. Yes. Have you seen that documentary, The Food That Made America?
The Food That Made America. I have seen that document. Yes.
There's an episode on the cola wars on there. And at one time, Pepsi was struggling.
Mm-hmm.
And they called and offered Coca-Cola just to buy their shares. Coca-Cola could have bought Pepsi for like $100,000 or something, and just closed the company. And the guy wanted to compete. You know, he didn't take the offer. He's like, "Oh, we got them. They're about to go bankrupt." Well, they kept going. But one way that Pepsi stayed competitive is they said, "What if we offer a bigger bottle, more content, at the same price?" So instead of getting an 8-ounce Coca-Cola, you can get a 16-ounce Pepsi for the same price as their 8-ounce.
Right.
And that was, and believe it or not, that's kind of the deal today. The Pepsis and Mountain Dews, and their price usually under what a 12-pack of Cokes are. And
unless you buy that Kroger on sale.
Usually though, they usually will have that Pepsi delivery person will usually know what the Coke person went down to, and
they were best friends. They were down on the street talking about the price.
Those commercials were hilarious. You remember whenever the Coke guy would be like, see no one in the store, and getting the Pepsi out, and all the cans came rolling out.
Oh, great!
And it was like the video monitor of that store.
Great commercial. So let's break out into another tangent. Many people don't really realize that I work at a data center, and one of the greatest things about that is you learn insider stuff, like Mark Zuckerberg is going to be fighting Elon Musk in an MMA fight. What? And that's not a secret, folks. Ooh. Everybody knows it. The only problem is today Mark came out and said, "I got to have surgery." Come on, man. I mean, you tower over Zuck. I mean, you tower over him. But hey, don't get me wrong, Zuck, he done gone out and got MMA ready. He's ready to fight. So I just thought that was quite hilarious. Whenever you keep hearing
that's gonna be interesting. Who do you have, Alan? If they did fight,
if they did fight, it's probably going to be Zuck because he's like a black belt in karate. He's gone out and got this MMA fighter that comes in and trains with him.
Did you ever watch the movie The Social Network?
Oh yes, I did. That was a great flick.
When they were renting that house in California.
Yep.
And they were like hooking up like some kind of thing to slide to go across a cable and jump into a pool.
Yep.
So I think Mark is a little bit more athletic than Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Of course, Elon Musk was raised in South Africa, and he came to the States to go to the University of Pennsylvania.
Right.
And Wharton School of Business.
I don't know if I had Justin
Mark
Timberlake.
Zuckerberg I think he's a little bit more street.
He's a little smaller, but I think he's got that kind of street thug type thing.
Yeah. I
will agree with that.
I think he'll bust your chops.
I think you're right. Well, anybody that's got Justin Timberlake as a friend that works for you. I mean, wait a minute. That was the movie. Hold on. Oh, yeah. Justin Timberlake screwed over everybody on the company except for Zuck and took all the shares. Oh, what a great...
that was Justin Timberlake was playing the guy that started Napster.
Yes, that is correct. Eventually,
and that guy is a multimillionaire because he was given so many shares of Facebook for helping Mark Zuckerberg get Facebook where it is. And of all the mistakes that he made with Napster, he was hooking him up with all the investors like PayPal.
PayPal is one of his Yes, I agree. There's a lot of things that they did right there. Some of the things he didn't do a lot of things right, but he did the things he did do right. He did really right. That's really cool. So, but yeah, I was I was watching the news this morning. They were talking about the fight, and as soon as they said that Elon Musk had to go in and have surgery, but he was ready to fight, I was like, is he really ready to fight if he's got to have surgery? Is he really ready to fight? I don't think so. But anyway, so yeah, great topics. Working on there.
He's getting some bionic implants.
Bionic. That's the surgery, dude. That's the surgery.
Tangent. The $6 million man.
The bionic woman. What was it?
The bionic man. Yeah, she played. Hold on, let me look it up.
It was Lindsay Wagner and what was oh my God, the $6 million man. That was Lee Majors.
Lee Majors. That's correct.
Mm-hmm. And then Oscar
and
Goldman.
He had I had a $6 million man doll.
Bionic eye.
Where I can look through the back of his head, and it was like a telescope. And
he had the arms that would move, the bionic arms, and you could peel back the skin and see the bionic parts of it.
So basically, the $6 million man was kind of like Deadpool's Cable.
Very good. Very good. Yeah, absolutely.
Because he was rebuilt. And yes, we had the technology to rebuild him. That's kind of how the show came on. And all of a sudden it's and they were showing how he can run 50 miles an hour and
faster than a cheetah.
Yeah.
And then Lindsay Wagner, she was in love with him, and she had her wreck, or she did her thing, and then she got the ear, and I think she got one arm and both the legs, if I remember correctly. But that was a great show. As a matter of fact, I remember coming home, and it was between that, Gilligan's Island, and all these other.
And her show, the spinoff, was called The Bionic Woman.
Bionic Woman, right.
He was the $6 million man. She was the Bionic Woman.
But the bad part about it is they considered him the Bionic Man, and she was the Bionic Woman. So I wonder what her price tag was. I wonder if it was more than $6 million. We can only guess if it was more than $6 million. She was a little later, and she had upgrades, I'm sure, as any bit of technology does. But
Bionic Woman came out in 1976 and went until 87, on 11 years.
Whoa, that's almost a Wonder Woman, or I did.
No, wait a minute. It says Bionic Woman. Hold on now. Hold on. Let me.
Did the $6 million man run that long? I don't think he did.
I see one thing that says that it didn't run that long, and I'm wondering if it was like a reboot that made it run. Okay, it says number of seasons 3.
Okay, so that makes more sense.
I wonder if it rebooted.
They put in one more year and found out it wasn't going to make it, because it was probably going up at that time against Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and lost. The Turtles in the Half Shell.
The $6 Million Man came out in 1973.
And it's hard to believe that I remember that show, and it came out when I couldn't remember.
It went 5 seasons.
Okay. That makes sense.
So where am I seeing that?
So probably what it was, he had to go do the Fall Guy, because he is the unknown Stoke man that makes Eastwood look so fine. But yeah. So if we're talking about Lee Majors, Fall Guy, then we talk about Heather Locklear. If we talk about Heather Locklear, then we have to talk about another Netflix original called The Dirt. If you like Motley Crue, because if you remember, Heather Locklear at one time was married to Tommy Lee, who is the drummer of Motley Crue. So there's that Netflix special there called The Dirt. And it just tells the story of how they got together and became a band. I don't know if it's true accuracy, but I do remember some of the things that they had on there when they had Ozzy Osbourne up there, and some of the stupid stuff that they used to do. And there was a lot of it. So great show, but I got to bring up, Joey, one of the shows that's coming up for season 3 of Netflix, and I can't wait. It's called, oh my Jesus, it's the Thor show, Ragnarok.
Oh, yeah, Ragnarok.
It comes on for its 3rd season. Now, the first season was kind of, with the dubbing, it was so slow.
Yes, but because it was made in, is Norwegian. It Norway?
Norway, yeah. They're Norwegian, yeah.
So it's an English voiceover television show, but first season was slow until that last episode. Not going to spoil it.
No, because it was great. And then the season 2, they kind of they did great, but they
start seeing. You're like, is that Loki? Is that guy? Was because he's the god of mischief.
Yes.
You're starting to see what characters from Thor that folks might be.
So I cannot wait for this one to roll out.
What have they had a release date yet?
Yes, it is August I think it's August the 18th, maybe.
Now, Alan, I don't want to disappoint you.
Do not disappoint me.
That could be delayed. And
Why?
The Writers Guild strike.
I think it's already finished, though. I think that show is already done.
But the thing is that, yes, since it's in Norway, it might have not been affected by the strike. But, for instance, I am hooked on the show 1923.
Yeah,
I like it better than Yellowstone.
Well, the thing is, though, all those people that do those are writers, so
yes,
they can stop.
So 1923 season 2 was supposed to start mid-July, and it's not being released because of the strike, and so
just leaving people hanging.
Yeah, well,
but it's all right.
It lets you know. It lets you know who. Yeah, it lets you know that the show's good because of good writers and good actors.
Yes.
And
so August the 24th is when Ragnarok is supposed to come out on season 3 for Netflix. But you got to watch all 3 of them, even though the first season drags on. You got to watch it because that's when you start learning the pattern of what happened and what's he doing to become Thor, if you will. Because he really wasn't Thor until the Scarecrow lady basically made him Thor by giving them powers or whatnot. But it's great flick.
And a dwarf made the hammer.
Yep, which fits right into the line. So the other show that is out already, which I'm telling you what, I've got to sit down and watch it, but I don't want to be disappointed because I heard the season 3 was not as good, or is not on par with the storyline, which is Witcher, which is why Calvin is leaving. I know they say, well, that he had differences. No, he didn't have differences. They got away from the actual storyline of Witcher. And I think it happened this season for season 3 is the reason why he's no longer going to do season 4. But I'm telling you, I don't want to be disappointed, so I'm kind of not wanting to watch it. But I have rewatched season 1 and season 2 in prep for season 3, but I don't want to be disappointed. I have a feeling I'm going to be disappointed. But yeah, it is what it is. It's
Tangent.
Like, sidetrack.
And I didn't want to interrupt earlier.
Oh, okay.
But when we were on Lee Majors, you know who popped in my head? Who he was married to once. He had multiple wives.
Oh, he was married to what was her name? Farrah Fawcett.
Farrah Fawcett.
Yeah, I remember that. That's of course Farrah Fawcett was on my wall in my ceiling, and just about everywhere that could fit on my wall in my house there. There down in Bennettstown, Tennessee, or Bennettstown, Kentucky. Tennessee. Where in the world? I'm from Kentucky.
You're forgiven.
I'm forgiven this time. Oh, Lord. I'm down there by Lafayette. Of course, that's the proper name. Lafayette is the real name. That's how you know who you're from and where you're at. But yes, that was that Ragnarok is coming out August 24th, release date. And I'm going to tell you, wait for it to come out and then just binge season 1, 2, and 3. I have been waiting to start season 1 back over again, just so that way I can binge it again. I binged season 1.
I didn't know this. I'm interrupting again.
No, go ahead.
I didn't know that Farrah Fawcett was only married to one person, Lee Major.
Yeah. Lee Majors.
When she died, she was not married to Ryan O'Neal. They were just partners, and they had
they were partners for a long time.
A grown son that was in prison named Redmond.
Yes. But I do remember her and her. I guess we won't say her husband because there was only one person that was her husband. But they were together for a really long time. But Redmond O'Neal was the son. So, but she was married.
I remember they let him out of jail to go to her funeral, and also they asked the judge, could he be released, and the sheriff bring him to just say goodbye to his mom. And that was a long time ago. That was what, 1980? She died in 2009. Yeah, 2009. Oh my God, it seems like forever ago. Yeah, it seems like forever ago, but it was just one thing that overshadowed is that her and Michael Jackson died very close together.
Yeah,
and that dominated the news is Michael Jackson's death.
Well, that is wild. But yeah, I do remember that she was together with Ryan for a very long time, and I think she was only married to Lee Majors for like 9 years. So. Farrah Fawcett. I could go on another one and say Jacqueline Smith if you wanted to buy furniture, or Kate Jackson if you wanted to see what happens to an actress that just leaves the limelight altogether. But that was Charlie's Angels.
Did you like the Charlie's Angels? That was a reboot movie.
I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't watch it. It just, I mean, I like Lucy Liu and when she did the TV show Elementary.
Yeah,
Loved Elementary.
yeah,
It's on Hulu, by
very
the
good.
way. Hulu, by the way, and
Ooh.
you can stream all the seasons, and it is freaking awesome. We do it about
Oh
once a month.
man, I'm gonna binge that. I'm gonna binge watch that.
We binge watch it about once every 2 months. We just start at the beginning and go all the way to the end because to watch that show is awesome. And
Alan, I am so surprised that you and I have not talked about this movie that came out
what movie is
on
that?
the Roku channel,
Okay.
and it starred Harry Potter,
Oh my God! What
Daniel
movie?
Radcliffe.
Yeah, what movie did he play in? Oh, was that the Weird Al Yankovic movie?
Yes,
Oh my God!
did you watch it?
I seen the first 30 minutes of it, and oh my God, I was like, "This is not funny at all," but it was freaking
You've got to
hilarious.
be in the right mood. You got Alan.
I was not
You feel
in the
that
right
you
mood.
did the right thing. Turn it off.
Stop it. Especially whenever his
Um,
dad saw him play the unicorn or the hopscotch, I was like, "Really? Come on, man!" And he was making up all these songs that were. I'm like, "Really, man?" And then he moved into this house with these guys, and I'm like, "Oh my God!" And to think maybe this was the real story of Weird Al Yankovic, but then you saw written by Weird Al Yankovic, so it's kind of like
yeah, and
maybe it's not altered.
of course, Weird Al Yankovic even said it happened just like this.
Yeah, I
And
remember that.
his sense of humor is his sarcasms in the movie, and the exaggeration. I guess that's probably it happened just like this. It's exaggerated.
Yeah.
But I thought it. But I here's what I think is true. I really believe that they said parodies of songs, people will buy that because it's comedy and music.
And they did. And they made him
And
famous.
he loved polka music. So
Yep.
most of his sounds is that polka type sound.
So my question is, Joey,
I think you need to find some time. You need to
start it over.
You know,
Do it again.
the family goes to bed one night and you're not tired yet.
Grab some spicy
Get
pineapple.
you a bag of those Doritos.
Woo.
And one of your favorite beverages, like one of these ice colas are like $1.
I do the Milo's Yellow in my
Sit back.
Walmart.
Sit back right here and go
Roku it up, baby.
and let it happen. Let the musical experience happen, Alan.
Okay.
Reminisce back when you first heard that song.
Man, that is some crazy.
Was it My Bologna? Is that what it was? My Bologna.
Yeah, my bologna.
My Bologna. My Bologna.
Bologna. What was the other one that he did? He did so many. Beat It.
Yeah.
But yeah, every time he turned around. But I got up to the part where he was starting to redo the songs, and that's where I kind of lost it. But I'm going to get back. I'm going to sit down. I promise I'm going to sit down. I'm going to go through it again. So that's
tangent.
Go for it.
Did you ever watch Miracle Workers with
No.
Daniel Radcliffe in it?
Never seen that one.
Started season 2.
Season 2, Miracle Workers.
Basically, Miracle Workers, Daniel Radcliffe, Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, the same cast plays in each season, but each season's a different theme. And so, season 2 is the Middle Ages.
Okay.
And it kind of starts out where they're like, I think we're living in a horrible time like we're sitting here watching a guy get executed, the executioner with the hoods, got an axe, and he's like, who wants to see someone kill somebody in a village? It's like huts, and it's like year 1000 or something like that. And That episode also has this young lady, and she's like going to college.
Yep.
And when she sits down at her desk, they said, the sun's evil. It's an evil spirit that makes the heat come at us. Congratulations, graduates.
Oh, Lord.
And okay, pardon the language. Her dad is the town shit shoveler.
Oh, my God.
So all of her friends that she grew up with said, oh, I thought, isn't your last name shit shoveler? Because your last name was what your occupation was. And she goes, yeah, but I'm going to college. I'm going to study philosophy. And, she was bragging before. And then all of her friends saw her shoveling.
Oh, good God. Okay.
And he's like, it's Steve Buscemi is her dad.
Oh, my good God. I can see that.
And so he has this short handle shovel. He's like, hey. She goes, why is the handle so short? He goes, so your back hurts whenever you go down real low to shovel. And she modifies the shovel. He goes, look, you're messing with my technique by putting this longer handle. Like she's even trying to improve on, and then they hear about toilets being invented. And so he goes around dropping snakes into toilets like, because no one will need his shoveling service if everyone has these commodes.
That reminds me of the piss boy in what is it? The Meaning of Life. It's good to be the king. All right, so look,
Daniel Radcliffe. He in season 2, he is like a prince, and he's like doesn't have to do anything. Like he doesn't know how to feed himself or anything. God. And season 3 is called The Oregon Trail.
Oh my God!
So it's like the 15, 16, or the maybe it could be the 17 and 1800s, right. Like the Wild West,
right?
But same characters on the Oregon Trail traveling out west each episode, and
that reminds me of
Miracle
another one.
Workers.
Right,
it's hilarious. Daniel Radcliffe is hilarious.
But there's another one that does the same thing. A character could get killed, and next week there's another character. It was called Nero Wolfe. Timothy Hutton played. Wolf. Yep, Timothy Hutton. You can't find streaming anywhere. So what we had to do was we bought the DVD box set, and now we don't have a DVD player because we stream everything. So I have to sometimes pull the DVD player out just so we can watch Nero Wolfe.
Right.
But Timothy Hutton played Archie Goodwin, which was the sleuth, and it was kind of like a how would you say it, a 1930s kind of gangster type thing, where he was kind of like the arm of Nero Wolfe as a private detective. Good show. I'll definitely put that up there in the butt. So, all right. So we've given everybody a lot tonight. We got to say.
We also want to hear what shows that you guys like.
Yes, we want to talk about any show and every show.
What are you streaming? What do you like? Are you binge watching?
Right.
So let us know. We're always looking for something like.
And if it's if we like comedy and we like satire, we even like crazy crap. I mean, you got to realize we're from the 70s and 80s. We grew up in that time frame, so some of the stuff we watched is off the wall.
We grew up in the 3-channel days.
The 3-channel, and if President was on, you were screwed.
Yeah, you better. It was just like the power was out in the house. Remember, exactly. Like, do you know what to do when the power goes out? Like, do we all take a nap? And I'm thinking, I can't take a nap without a fan.
So give us.
I gotta have a noise.
So give us our recap for our commercial. What is our commercial going to be on? We've talked about
Doritos. We talked about the quest that I went on to get the Doritos. It's very similar to the Indiana Jones and the Holy Grail. Not really.
Not really.
And then we talked about $6 Million Man, Bionic Woman, Lee Majors. Who was he married to? Farrah Fawcett. All the tangents on Farrah Fawcett being dating Ryan O'Neal, not really married to Ryan O'Neal. Their son coming to visit her right before she died. How she died, it wasn't as publicized because she died real close to the same time Michael Jackson died. And then we talked about the shows that we're streaming, Miracle Workers. What else, Alan?
We talked about Elon Musk in the fight of the century with Mark Zuck. I mean, come on.
Who's going to win that?
Who is?
You got to listen to the show. You got to listen to this episode.
And don't forget the song that I heard at the gas station, Our House, talking about homelessness and burning down the house.
Oh, and make sure that you watch the Weird Al Yankovic story on the Roku channel. I think we've summarized what we just, all the tangents.
The show in a nutshell has just been explained. Come and see it so that way you'll get to hear everything about the backsides. Anything else, Joey?
If you watch it on YouTube, you can see our facial expressions as we're telling these stories. And see the chips.
And the chips, the bag. Excellent artwork, by the way. Excellent artwork. And
the flavors come through the screen.
Out at you. Bam. That's what I'm talking about. So just remember that out there, we appreciate everything y'all do. Listening to the show. The more people listen, the better we feel. The more people we reach, the more we feel like we've accomplished something. Maybe.
Take care of one another. We'll see you soon.
Love you. Mean it.